You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this Thursday night edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. Tonight's edition of Coffee with Graeme is brought to you by AETi, Case Financial Group, Evolve Green, Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, and Toby Hockey. This is the last Thursday edition of the show that will be happening on Thursday here in 2022. The next Thursday edition of the show you guys will be seeing will be happening in February. So yeah, time flying here on on the network in the year here of 2022. Excited for February though, and for the upcoming months in this year, of course. But in tonight's episode, gonna have four people joining the show in total. Gonna have 3 interviews in total for you guys in tonight's episode. And the first guest joining me in tonight's episode is number 29, forward for the St. James Jr Canucks in the MMJHL, leading goal scorer and point leader in the It's Kurtis Luke. Kurtis will be joining the show to talk about his season with the Junior Canucks this year, as well as the team season so far, the success that they've had. We're also going to be sitting down and talking about the most recent game that Kurtis and the St. James Jr Canucks had against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, where they lost in that game 6-3. And I'll also be asking Kurtis about the upcoming games on the schedule for the Junior Canucks coming up tomorrow night and on Sunday as well, against the Charleswood Hawks tomorrow night and against the Stonewall Jets on Saturday. So that's coming up first here on this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Here first up in this first interview in tonight's episode with number 29 of the St. James Junior Canucks, Kurtis Luke, here on Coffee with Graeme. On this edition of Coffee with Graeme now is number 29, forward for the St. James Jr Canucks, Kurtis Luke. Kurtis leads the MMJHL in both points and goals, having a very successful season for yourself right now, Kurtis, along with the rest of your team, as you guys are first place right now in the MMJHL. Just at this point in the season, can't be any more satisfied with what you guys have done so far, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with the record so far. The biggest thing right now is just trying to hit our stride going into playoffs, being the best we can be, and just continuing what we've been doing, I guess.
Yeah, and it's crazy. You guys went on a 14-game win streak before losing to the Transcona Railer Express on January 14th, and that also ended a 24-game span where you guys went without losing in regulation. That streak lasting since October 3rd. Just to be a part of that, I mean, pretty long streak in both the 14-game win streak and 24 games without losing in regulation since that October 3rd date. Must have been pretty special to be a part of that, along with all the rest of the boys on the team.
Absolutely. No, that was a really good run. And realized it was 24 games actually without a regulation loss. But yeah, there were some good games, and there's also some tight games where we came back in the third period, like left. So yeah, the best of both worlds on there.
Yeah, for sure. And to be able to go through experiences like that, where you guys are able to, dominate on the scoreboard, and also be able to win those close games, being able to come back when it mattered the most. Just how huge is that to build habits like that, as the season has been progressing, how vital those would be for you guys come playoff time.
Yeah, after that 14-game win streak there, we obviously all know what we need to do every night, which translates to a win. But also, losing, like it was actually a good thing. I think that we lost our win streak. It shows that we're not unbeatable, but we could still be the best team in the league.
Talking about you now here for the next little while on this interview, like you lead the league in both points and goals, 53 points in 27 games played, 25 goals, 28 assists. Such an offensive threat out there, of course, just by looking at these numbers. What, in your opinion, makes you the type of offensive threat that you are out there to be able to put up that type of production this season?
I've just been in the right spots, I guess. Been pretty good for passing the puck around. We went around pretty good, but the defense on our team really makes it easy to get out of our zone and create that offense down there. We spend a lot of time down there, so yeah, and fortunate for quite a few goals here.
Yeah, and speaking about that defense, only 92 goals against as a team so far this year. With the defense you guys have, the way you guys play defense, but starting back on that D-core, just how much confidence that has given you guys as a forward group for you guys to transition up there and be able to do the things like you need to focus on, which is focusing on putting the puck in the net.
Yeah, no, it's good to know we can rely on them when we're down deep in their end and there's a odd run back. But also those two have been very good. I'd say Noah Gilbert and Liam Johnson. They keep us in quite a few games when we're not scoring goals on some nights.
Yeah, and that must be huge for you guys to have confidence in goaltenders like that. Of course, Noah Gilbert leading the league and wins at this point in the season. Just talk about the confidence, in your opinion, that those guys have given the rest of the team to be able to go out and do your guys' jobs out there in front of them.
Yeah, I'm sure the boys know if they miss a block shot that it's going to get stopped anyways coming to the net. But yeah, it's tough to score on them in practice sometimes, so it's always a little competitive there, you could say.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And must suck sometimes not getting by them in practice, but also nice knowing that when you guys are out there playing against the other teams, those guys are on your side rather than the other side, right? But, for yourself, obviously the offensive production is there. The numbers are there offensively with you leading the league in points and goals as well, putting up, more assists than goals too as well with 28. But for yourself, your game in the defensive side of things, what your game is like as a 200-foot player out there.
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in the offensive zone, but this year I'm playing center, so I'm trying to be a two-way forward, maybe like Patrice Bergeron, you could say. But yeah, our power play's been pretty good too, I'd say, for generating points. It's fourth in the league, fifth in the league, maybe. So that's good.
Yeah, and talking about that, yeah, you're bang on. Actually, it's fifth ranked in the league, 20.7% on the power play for you guys this season. And then on the PK, you guys are in the top half of the league, with the fourth best penalty kill in terms of percentage at 80.4%. Obviously, looking at those numbers with you guys being more so middle of the pack rather than, top three in those categories, obviously still some time to improve that. What are going to be the things that you guys are looking to improve on the most on the special teams, both PP and PK, as the season rolls along here into playoffs?
Yeah, definitely bearing down on the PK, blocking the shot we can, and on the power play, just capitalizing on our chances. But with those stats, it's actually not a bad thing that we're in the middle of the league. I think it shows that we're really good 5-on-5, and we can stay out of the box. We're pretty good.
Right, for sure. And, speaking 5-on-5, what makes this team such a good team 5-on-5? Obviously, you've spoken about the defense out there, how they've allowed for you guys to do the things offensively. Obviously, you guys have been able to put the puck in the net quite a bit, being ranked first in terms of total goals overall with 154 against. Good goaltending as well. Would you just point that to you guys being so successful 5-on-5 because all the factors like the offense, the defense, and the goaltending for you guys has just been top notch this season?
Yeah, top notch, I guess you could say. Yeah, we have a lot of energy out there too. I would say. We all play for each other and we build off each other. So it's been a lot of fun actually.
Talk about the line that you've been having the chance to play on this season. I'm not sure if it's changed throughout the year, but talk about the line you've been playing on, most recently, this year at this point.
Yeah, down the stretch, I've been playing with Ashton Romanuk and Cale Price, 3 lefties on a line, and it's. I just started playing with Romanuk this year, and very happy with that. And Cale Price, I played with him when I was 19, and we just bonded real quick, I guess you could say. And look at us now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, talking about all three of you guys being on the line, obviously you've played with Cale before this season, but like you said, you just started playing with Ashton in this season in 2021, 2022. Talk about how you guys, how your guys' style of games individually all come together to, create the type of stuff that you guys are able to produce out there as a line out there.
Yeah, I'd say Romo, he's definitely the shooter on our line. He's got an absolute bomb. And Cale Price might be like the hardest worker in the world. And he always got a smile on his face, so it's fun playing beside him. And I guess I've been scoring and passing to them as well. But I'm fortunate they put the puck in the back of the net when I give it to them, and I try to do the same in return.
Yeah, for sure. And, I feel like the numbers speak for themselves in terms of you guys being able to do that, of course, for yourself leading the league in goals and having 28 assists as well. But, going more into depth into the record, 25-3-3 on the season at this point, first place in the league, 12-2-2 at home and 13-1-1 on the road. Speak about, how nice it's been to have the home ice advantage you guys have had out there this year, having that much success as you guys have had at home.
Yeah, it's I think other teams aren't too happy coming to the Keith Bodley. It's a small rink and we play hard in there, so it's easy to play against. I do wish we were playing the Civic Center this year, but Keith Bodley's been treating us pretty good.
Yeah, and I've had experience playing at Keith Bodley, and it is a small arena, like you said, and with the home ice advantage you guys have had there this season, kind of understandable that teams don't quite want to come there and play you guys all the time, but also you guys have been able to go out on the road and have plenty of success this season. One of the best road records in the league so far this year with a 13-1-1. That is to not only know you'll have success at home, but being able to go out and have just as much, if not more, success on the road.
Yeah, that's a really good feeling. We've had a lot of good games on the roads with big crowds, especially in Transcona and Pembina Valley, when top 3 teams in the league are playing. And it's been nice to actually steal a few overtime wins in PV, so it's nice, St. James coming.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Obviously the offense this year has been on full display for you guys. 154 goals for this year. First in the league, you being a big part of that. But, 2 rookies that have been notable for you guys, and Tyrone Willen and Griffin Height really stepping up and contributing quite a bit. Talk about how nice it's been to have those 2 guys especially come in this year and contribute on the offensive side of things.
Oh, yeah, they've been a huge part of the offense. They've been playing together too, and just, they're both fast players and very skilled, so it's very nice to watch. Makes me feel old watching them skate so fast.
Yeah, those young guys coming up in the league for sure. And nice that you guys have 2 very productive rookies on your team this season and have helped you guys out quite a bit at this point in terms of putting up these offensive numbers, contributing to that stat. But talking about the most recent game you guys played, 6-3 loss to the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Obviously, not the result you guys wanted in that one, but take me through that game. What happened for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club to be able to grab that one against you guys?
Yeah, they just got off to a quick start there in the first, and we just didn't seem to get it back, I guess. also our power play, I think we went 1 for 8. So, their goalie played pretty good, I'd say. The chances were there for us, but we'll get back to the Raiders. We're looking forward to playing them again.
Yeah, and speaking about the upcoming matchup for you guys, coming up, you guys will be playing against the Charleswood Hawks tomorrow night. Of course, you guys will also be playing against the Stonewall Jets coming up on Sunday. 2 games for you guys this weekend. Obviously playing against teams that haven't had the most success this year, but obviously you guys are looking to come in ready and prepared, ready to go in those games. What's going to be the mindset and the game plan heading in against both Charleswood and Stonewall this weekend?
Yeah, we talked about it at practice yesterday. It's a must need 4 points this weekend, stay on top of the standings for sure. And yeah, we've had some good success actually against Charleswood and Stonewall. So we all know what we got to do out there and just give it to them and not let them get anything.
Well, going to be an exciting weekend for you guys if you guys are able to take care of business and win those 2 games after coming off of a loss against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Kurtis, thanks for joining the show here tonight on Coffee with Graeme. Best of luck to you and the boys heading into the rest of this regular season and into the playoffs. Hope to talk to you again soon here on the show in the future. But until then, man, you take care and take it easy.
Thank you very much for having me, man. It was good talking to you.
Of course, man. You too. Take care. Kurtis Luke, number 29, forward for the St. James Jr Canucks and the MMJHL, of course, leading point getter and goal scorer in that league as well, joining Coffee with Graeme on the show here tonight. And of course, they got 2 games coming up for themselves in the next 3 days after this one. So 1 tomorrow night on Friday, and as well as playing on Sunday. Coming up at the end of the show, I'm going to be running you guys through the schedule in the MMJHL as well as in the MFHL and the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, as well as the Zone 4 High School Hockey League on this week's edition of League Report. But getting back to what's coming up here on Coffee with Graeme, coming up next, I'm going to be talking to 2 players from Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, both of them playing on the U18 prep female Buffalo squad this season, Cherish Osborne and Lily Medicine. I'm going to ask both of them about just their experience in Pilot Mound this year, playing Pilot Mound Hockey Academy hockey, as well as the stats that they've been able to put up for themselves on the season so far in total games, and also going to be talking about the most recent games this team has played and the upcoming matchups for this team this weekend against the St. Mary's Hockey Academy. You're watching Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Stick around for more after this commercial break.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance. Quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you, with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on AETi Productions, everybody. Kurtis Luke, number 29, forward for the St. James Jr Canucks, joined the show first off in tonight's episode. Of course, as mentioned many times already, Kurtis is the leading point getter and goal scorer in the MMJHL, having a pretty nice season for himself in his last year in the MMJHL, as he is a 2000-born player. But welcome back to the show, everybody. It's time for our Pilot Mound Hockey Academy coverage for this Thursday night edition of Coffee with Graeme. And joining the show tonight is two players in the same interview, both playing on the U18 female prep team, or U18 prep female team for the Buffaloes. It's Cherish Osborne, number 8, and number 9, Lily Medicine, joining the show tonight. Cherish and Lily, it's great to have you girls on the show here tonight. How are you girls doing on this Thursday evening? And I can't seem to hear you guys right now. I'm going to get you guys to rejoin the link that I sent, and we'll get you back on the show in just a moment, girls. It's a bit odd why I wasn't able to hear them, but we'll get that sorted out and have those two girls back on the show in just a moment. Of course, Seth's Inside Scoop is coming up later on in this episode tonight. Seth Rach will be joining the show to break down the upcoming matchups coming up on the network this weekend, giving you guys the inside scoop on that. So more information on that later on. And like I said, going to be doing an edition of League Report later on in the show to finish things off here tonight. But we got Cherish and Lily back in the studio now. Try talking now. Let's see if we can hear you.
Hi.
Yeah, the sound is good now. Great to have you girls on the show here tonight. How are you girls doing on this Thursday?
I'm good. I'm doing good too. How are you?
I'm good. Doing good. It's my last show of the week, so excited to get the weekend rolling. And for you girls, you have a busy weekend ahead. 2 games against St. Mary's, coming into Winnipeg to play them twice. It's been quite a while since you guys have played. Last time you girls played was back on the January 7th weekend. How excited are you two to get back at it and play some hockey again this weekend?
I'm really excited. Looking forward to it.
Right on. And for you, Cherish, must be nice to get back out there this weekend for 2 games coming to Winnipeg.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's been a rough week, actually, because we've been stuck in the dorms for a while with all the COVID happening.
Right, yeah. COVID-19, of course, canceling the U15's weekend, the U15 male prep team's weekend. So fortunate that happened, but nice to know that you guys have been staying safe. Sucks that you guys have been stuck in the dorms, like you said. But, talking about this season, of course, Cherish, you had a chance to be on Pilot Mound's team last year. Of course, not playing a lot of games since COVID did shut down the season. But Lily, this is your first year on the team. For both of you girls, how's the experience been so far this year for you two in Pilot Mound?
When I first got here, everyone was really welcoming. I didn't know what to expect since I've never been away from home. But yeah. Yeah, the experience is really good. The school is very welcoming. They help us a lot with our homework. And I developed a lot as a player.
Great to hear that. And Lily, of course, this being your first year in the academy, you're from Whitefish Bay, Ontario. Of course, you said you've never been away from home in your life. How's that adjustment been for you as the season has gone along? Just with the support you got down here in Pilot Mound, with the help of your teammates, just adjusting to this lifestyle.
Well, like the first couple days I was here was a little bit hard. I met new friends, so it's been fun.
Yeah, always great when you're able to do that, right? Making new connections, making new friends, and just getting comfortable with this team that you've been playing on. For you, Cherish, you had a chance to be in Pilot Mound the year before this year, of course, coming back for your second and final season in the academy. What's it been like for you to, get back into it this year? Of course, that being a while ago now, but getting to know this group of girls this season.
The group of girls this season are very good. They're really nice. Last year we couldn't really play games, so it was kind of boring just practicing all the time.
Yeah.
But this year we've been having a lot of games, and yeah, it's been exciting and fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, last season had to be probably the worst season ever, right? For you guys and just all hockey players, just getting a cut short due to COVID, and just the story last year was devastating for you guys. Just not being able to get to play like normally, like you guys are playing again this season. Getting back to a more of a normal routine, even though there's still been cancellations with COVID. But talking about that feeling for both of you guys, getting to play games again this season, and getting to experience just the competition that the CSSHL brings out there.
Yeah, it's very challenging. I wasn't very fast at the beginning of the season, but I got more faster like as it went on, and got easier to keep up. Yeah.
Right on. And for you, Lily, how nice has it been for you, even though this is your first year in the academy, but for yourself, getting to, get back to some normal this year and playing in games more consistently than you would have in the season prior, wherever you were playing?
I think this season is going really well for me. I've been skating a lot and learning and improving. I've connected with the players on and off the ice really well compared to the beginning of the season.
That's great to hear. And obviously, this being your first year in the academy, which team were you playing on last season?
I was playing high school hockey with the Broncos.
Right on. And, obviously, high school hockey, this being academy hockey, so it is still school hockey, but obviously this is a different level. In your opinion, how have you felt that you've adjusted into playing in this league this season? How different it is compared to the level of hockey you've played at before?
The games playing against other teams that are really good it's kind of challenging, but I think I've been getting better.
Right on. And, you got 7 assists on the season so far and 29 total games played. But for both of you, for you two girls, obviously playing games is something that you guys enjoy quite a bit, obviously being hockey players. But the experience of Pilot Mound Hockey Academy isn't just that. Of course, there's the practices where you two are on ice along with all the rest of your teammates every single day. You two get access to the gym along with everyone else at all times. Of course, there's that bonding experience where you're with the girls about 24/7, the schooling as well. What's been your favorite part outside of hockey about this whole experience this season for you both?
Well, I got closer to the girls, and it just felt like, I don't know, at the beginning I was pretty lonely. Got better as it went on because of my friends. They helped me like not be lonely. Yeah.
That's great to hear that you've been able to find some comfort in playing with these teammates this season. Not feeling as alone as the season has gone along, which is just fantastic. For you, Lily, what's been your favorite part of this experience playing at this academy? Outside of playing games like you girls have.
meeting new people and making new friends and getting better at hockey.
Right on. And, that's what the experience is about, right? Making new friends, developing as a hockey player, and all the other things that the academy, allows for players to do, in Pilot Mound. Talking about the coaching staff, of course, Brad Platt, the head coach of this team, getting to work with him along with the rest of the staff. How nice has that been to learn from the coaching staff this year for you two?
It's pretty good. I'm gaining more hockey knowledge, and
during practices, I've learned a lot of new drills that I haven't done before. And I've learned the proper way to shoot and strides and everything. Yeah, I've learned a lot.
Yeah, great to hear. And, you spoke about how you felt that you've developed as a player as the season has gone along, Cherish. Talk about, a part in your game that you're really happy with that has come along as the season has progressed, or not even just one part of your game, just the parts of your game that you've been happy with the most as the season has progressed.
I've been able to handle the puck more. I can carry the puck more often now. I wasn't really good at carrying the puck as much last year, and I've got stronger on that.
Do you feel like that also comes down to the confidence that you've been gaining out there? Of course, being more confident around the girls as the season has gone along. Do you feel like those go hand in hand? Just those experiences you've had this year with getting stronger out there with being able to carry the puck.
Yeah, my confidence really boosted up since I've got here. I talked more and made more.
Yeah, great to hear. You guys cut off for a second there for some reason, not too sure why, but it's all good. We'll keep going here. For you, Lily, obviously you're a defenseman. You've put up 7 assists this year. You don't have a goal yet, but that could come soon. But for yourself, what you've been happy with in your game as this season has progressed in terms of where you're at as a hockey player now.
Well, I skate the puck sometimes, but I think I improved on my shooting. I can slap shot now.
Right on. And obviously that may lead to some goals heading forward this season, which is great. For you, Cherish, obviously this being your last year in Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, do you have any plans for the future in continuing in hockey, playing at a collegiate level, whether that be, Div 1, Div 2, or Div 3?
I plan on playing college hockey. It doesn't really matter which division, just as long as I'm playing.
Right. As long as you get that chance to continue playing and continuing to experience this great game, that is so great. Of course, you guys enjoying it. The team this season, obviously, I've said it a lot of times. You guys don't have the best record. There's been struggles this season, but your teammates would agree with this, and I'd agree with this, that there has been improvement shown quite a bit as the season has gone along. And even though the last time you girls played, you lost all 3 games, there were some close games in there. Back on January 7th on that weekend, you girls lost 5-4 to Delta Hockey Academy U17, 6-0 against the OHA U18 team, which is the Okanagan Hockey Academy, and 3-1 against OHA's U17 team. Just going back to that game, first off, those 3 games that you girls played, how nice it was to be back with the girls and playing games again.
Yeah, it was really good to get back. It was kind of sad that we didn't win one game, but it's all right. And this weekend, we're going to try even harder to win a game or two.
Right on. And, obviously, unfortunate you girls weren't able to come out with a win in that weekend, but like I said, there were some close games for you, Lily. I'll get you to answer this one, and then I'll get Cherish's response on it too. But just to know that you girls are able to be in closer games as the season has gone along, other than the 6-0 game, must be nice to know that even though you lost, you can compete with these teams out there in this point in the season, keeping it close.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, just must be nice to see at this point in the season that even though you girls lost those games, one being 6-0, but the others being closer, must be nice that you girls can, stay in these games and keep it closer against these teams. It's okay. We can move on from that question. But I guess I'll end off with this. You two can answer it both, or only one of you can answer this. But this improvement that you girls have been showing throughout this season, how do you feel like it's going to fare for you guys heading into the rest of the season? Heading into playoffs, knowing you girls can maybe give teams a run for their money in terms of maybe winning games against them.
Now that I have the confidence to carry the puck, I feel like we will do better as a team. Well, not just everyone gained confidence on carrying the puck. I've seen a lot of girls in practice just improving a lot, and I think that we'll do better.
Well, right on. Well, you girls play twice this weekend coming up against the St. Mary's team. A game tomorrow at 4 p.m. and then the second game of the weekend for you guys, the final game of the weekend at 10:45 a.m. on Saturday morning. Best of luck in these two games coming up for you girls this weekend. And thanks for coming on tonight and doing this interview on Coffee with Graeme.
Thank you.
Number 9, Lily Medicine, defenseman, and number 8, forward, Cherish Osborne, joining the show tonight. You girls take care and, continue enjoying the Hockey Academy lifestyle at Pilot Mound.
Thanks for having us.
Of course, you take care. And Cherish Osborne and Lily Medicine joining this edition of Coffee with Graeme. Nice to be able to have a chance to talk to two of Pilot Mound's players here on tonight's show. On the female side of things, as always, interviewing Pilot Mound players on this edition of the show. And with the dorm progress, but with the progress in the dorms, the construction, what's going down in Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, stay tuned for next week on the show as probably going to be having someone from the academy, maybe Ginger Collins or someone else, to talk about the dorms, how they're coming along in Pilot Mound, and the exciting things that these dorms will allow for the possibilities for Pilot Mound heading forward in the future as that academy continues to grow. But that's it for Pilot Mound Hockey Academy in tonight's episode. If you enjoyed that interview that I did with Cherish Osborne and Lily Medicine tonight, be sure to leave it a like or a comment or a reaction, whatever you guys want to do. But coming up next is this week's edition of Seth's Inside Scoop. This week, Seth Rach joins his segment Seth's Inside Scoop to give the inside scoop on the upcoming matchups on the network this weekend. Only 2 due to Pilot Mound's games getting canceled for their U15s, but nonetheless going to be a very exciting segment. I'm excited to get into it with Seth, breaking down, getting his thoughts on the Pembina Valley Hawks and Winnipeg Ice game in the MMJHL coming up on Saturday, that game being played in Carman, Manitoba, and then heading into Sunday's game, also going to get Seth's thoughts on that game in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League between the Swift Current Wildcats and the Weyburn Goldwings here. Coming up next on Coffee with Graeme. Stick around for more of Coffee with Graeme and more importantly, Seth's Inside Scoop after this commercial break.
Welcome to Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
This week's edition of Seth's Inside Scoop on Coffee with Graeme. Seth back here for another Thursday as always. 2 games to break down rather than the crazy amount of games we were going to be talking about, but due to COVID, Pilot Mound's games getting canceled once again. Seems like that's a common trend here in 2022. But 2 games still to talk about that will be played on the network this weekend. One being in Carman, Manitoba, the other being in Saskatchewan. But gotta start off as always by asking you how you doing on this Thursday night, man.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I was really excited to prepare for the long run like we normally do with all those when we have a whole bunch of teams. But unfortunately, like you said, the Pilot Mound games are no more. So it looks like we just got 2 of these games we got to break down today.
Yeah, and we'll start off with the Manitoba game, the game that will be played in Carman, Manitoba between the Pembina Valley Hawks and Winnipeg Ice. Interesting, this game is being played in Carman, Manitoba, Seth, as usually all season long, Pembina Valley has been playing their home games in Morden, Manitoba at the Access Event Center. But the last 2 times these teams played was last Friday. The Winnipeg Ice won that game 4-0. They ended up scoring 2 in the first period, 1 in the second period, and 1 in the third period in that game. The Ice also outshot the Hawks, although it wasn't by much, but 28-25 in favor of the Ice in shots. Laura Melissa got the win in net for the Ice, and she's been outstanding this season for them. And Trians was in net for the Hawks. But coming into this game, of course, the Hawks, starting off by talking about them looking to come into this game and come away with a win this time around, and looking to put some goals up on the board this time. But how do you expect this Hawks team to come out in this game this time around against the Winnipeg Ice?
Yeah, I'm expecting the Hawks to come out with a little pep in their step. As you said, last Friday they did lose to this Ice team 4-0, and they're going to be looking to rewrite the script a little bit, get a few more goals. And after they did sustain that loss, they were able to get two wins on the next 2 days. So that definitely upped their confidence a little bit. And I think if you're going into this game as a Hawks fan, just expect them to come in with a lot of speed.
Yeah, and both teams, the Hawks coming in as the 5th place team in this game with a 11-12 record. The Ice coming in with a 13-9-3 record in fourth place. 7 points separate these two teams, and the Hawks actually won their first game of the season. I mean, the first matchup these teams played this season, 3-2 in a shootout back early on in the season in the Bell MTS Iceplex. Obviously, the Pembina Valley Hawks, like you said, looking to build off of those 2 wins that they had after that loss against the Ice after they lost that game, winning 3-0 over the Interlake Lightning and 5-1 over the Eastman Selects. Talking about the things they did good in those games, how they'll be looking to use that and translate it into success against this Ice team come Saturday.
Yeah, one of the main things I thought, there's been a theme when talking about the Hawks whenever they have a good game. We often talk about how good their forecheck is, and I think it was, very, very. That's the same outcome with those last 2 games. I thought their forecheck was excellent. A big reason why they were able to get on top. It seemed like, especially in those in the early parts of that game against the Eastman Selects, it seemed like the Hawks were just all over the Selects, just weren't giving them any daylight, and Quinn McLaren stepping up big and tying the game and getting the go-ahead goal in the first period. And, she definitely led her team there in that victory. But, just a great overall effort in those 2 games. And I think, they're definitely going to be even more hungry, again, coming up to face this good Winnipeg Ice team.
Yeah, and the Hawks doing a lot of good things in that Eastman Selects game. Like you said, I didn't have a chance to watch that Interlake Lightning game as I wasn't there for that one, Seth. But talking about, some of the chances that Eastman got in that game, talking about Pembina Valley defensively, for the most part, they were doing a good job defensively in that game. But for the chances that the opposition got in that game in the Eastman Selects, it seemed like it was coming off of some Hawks turnovers. Of course, there was some sloppy work in front of the net that kind of resulted in some mad scrambles for the Hawks, and going up against a team like the Winnipeg Ice that could make you pay for it. What do you think is going to be the key to Pembina Valley in terms of eliminating some of those sloppy plays that they had against Eastman this past Sunday?
Yeah, I think they just need to simplify their game a little bit. Oftentimes you see when they do get the puck in their own end, they're going to try to send that stretch pass. And there's been a number of times where that has hurt them quite a lot, trying to send that stretch pass all the way up the ice, but it gets turned over. And then, the other team, whichever team it is, they crash in. And it's kind of been a theme with the Hawks whenever they've, had a lot of opportunities against them. It's been because they've been unable to get pucks out and been unable to put pucks in safe areas. And I think that's been the main reason, or one of their main struggles this season when it comes to some of their losses, just being unable to get pucks out and put them into safe areas. They're always trying to find that person, one of their players up in the neutral zone, high up in the neutral zone. And it's hurt them a few times this year. And I'm definitely looking for them. If they want to succeed against this Ice team, they got to clean that up.
Talking about these special teams now, the Hawks, even though they gave up the only goal that they had against Eastman last week on the power play for Eastman, other than that, the penalty kill looks strong again. And, the power play was moving the puck around nicely too, even though they only got 1 goal off of the power play, that bomb from the point from Quinn McLaren. But in this game, how do you expect the special teams to look for the Pembina Valley Hawks against a 4th place Winnipeg Ice team?
Yeah, I'm expecting their special teams to be good again. I've been talking a lot about the penalty kill lately and their discipline lately, but it really seems like it hasn't really bothered the Hawks at all. That's been one of my main complaints with them. So in the past few games, and they've only let in 1 power play goal in the past 5 games, I think it is. So they've been doing an excellent job on their penalty kill, especially with the amount of penalties they've been taking. They've been really, really good, and especially in that Eastman game. They let their first goal was a power play goal, but after that, every PK they had, they were dumping pucks. They were hard on the forecheck in the other zone. It just seemed like Eastman was having a hard time getting pucks out of their zone when the Hawks were shorthanded, which is a testament to their PK. They get their speed out there, and they make things really rough for the opposition to settle things down and move the puck on the power play. And I think, if the Hawks can continue that, they got a good chance at really limiting the Winnipeg's ice opportunities.
Trian's got the start last time out against the Winnipeg Ice last Friday. She also got the start in the first matchup they had when Pembina Valley won in a shootout. She played the most recent game for this team against Eastman this past Sunday last week. Of course, against Interlake, we saw Kaylee Franz get the start in net. Coming into this one, what do you expect from Dana Bell in terms of which goaltender he's going to pick? Obviously, tough to predict these things sometimes, but if you're Dana Bell, would you who would you roll with in this game in net this time around against the Winnipeg Ice?
Yeah, it all really depends. Like you said, it is kind of tough to pick these things out, and both goaltenders have played an even amount of games. Really, I'm looking here at their regular season, all regular season stats here, and one has 17, the other has 18 games played. So it's been very even, and since they've had a week off to sort of rest up, it's really a coin flip for me. You want to go with the hot hand, the one who won the last game they played on last weekend, or do you want to go with the other goalie? It really all depends. But if I gotta pick one, I'm not. It's not going to be anything biased or anything. I'm just going to say Trians. I'll go with that.
Yeah, well, it's definitely two goaltenders that have been solid for them this season. Can't go wrong with any one of them in this game going up against the Ice. Talking about the keys to the game for Pembina Valley in this game against the Winnipeg Ice, looking to, close the gap a bit more from where they're at to where the Winnipeg Ice are at in the standings. Of course, only one standing spot separating these two at this point.
Yeah, I think... number one thing is keep things simple, I think. Just play a nice, simple game. A hard-working game, I think, is going to be one of the main things. Try not to give anything up. And, number two, keep the discipline. Keep disciplined. Yeah, I know they are starting to cut back on the penalties a little bit, but and their PK has been excellent. But still, against a good Winnipeg Ice team like this, you always got to watch out for all the weapons that they have, and staying out of the box. All the minutes that you stay out of the box is more minutes you get opportunities. That's the way I look at it for the Hawks. So I think that's the main thing. Stay disciplined as well, and make sure your specialty teams. This kind of plays into the second one, but make sure your specialty teams are up to par, because, like I said, if you're not ready to play in all situations upcoming this weekend, it'll be they'll have a tough time beating this Winnipeg Ice team.
Yeah, and we'll get into the Winnipeg Ice in just a moment here. But one thing I want to get your thoughts on here, Seth, is obviously these two teams playing in a neutral site and a neutral arena. Of course, looking at this game, of course, I guess Pembina Valley is considered the home team. But with these two teams coming into this game, playing on ice that they are not going to be so familiar with, do you expect, that to play a factor in anything in this game?
Yeah, it might play a factor a little early on. Both teams are going to be, even the Hawks are going to be, it'll be tough. It'll be different for them, but it'll also be different for the Ice, because I don't think they've played in Carmen at all this year either. So I think in the beginning, both teams might be, go through that feeling out process. But as the game, goes on and they start to play and it gets into the second and third period, I think that stuff will all just go away, and they'll just be focused on playing the game and winning the game.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Going to be interesting to see if, how this ice is going to be in Carmen, Manitoba. I've honestly, I don't think I've ever been in that rink, Seth. Growing up as a kid playing hockey, I might have been, but a very long time ago. So just hoping that if it is cold in that arena, they got the heaters going for us.
It used to be, I can tell you, I used to play in that rink quite a bit. And I do remember it being pretty cold on some occasions. So just prepare for that, Graeme.
Okay, so I will be prepared for that. Hopefully they install the heater in there, Seth. That'd be nice for, not only the fans, but, for us, the people calling this game would be nice to call this game without freezing our tails off here. But, talking about the Winnipeg Ice now, coming into this game, as mentioned, as the fourth place team in the league with a 13-9-3 record, 4th place in the league. They won the last matchup against the Hawks last Friday. Of course, the Hawks beat them earlier this season 3-2 in a shootout. But the Ice coming into this game, coming off of a 4-1 loss to the Central Plains Capitals last Sunday. How you expect this Winnipeg Ice team to come out against Pembina Valley, hungry to get back in the win column?
Yeah, I said Pembina Valley would come hungry, and I think this Winnipeg Ice team will too. Obviously, probably a little bit of upset about that loss, but and they just came off a win as well from beating the Hawks, and their rivalry is still going to be a little bit testy, I'd say. And I think they're probably going to come out just as hungry as the Hawks are because they came off a loss, and they're going to want to get back into the win column, and what better way to do that than face the last team you beat. So I think this team is gonna, have a lot of pep in their step to start the game.
Yeah, and the Winnipeg Ice, a team that we haven't had a chance to see here on the network at all this season, I believe, Seth, when they played the Valley Hawks. Talking about the Winnipeg Ice, looking at the numbers, 69 goals for as a team this season in 25 games played. Looking at their goals against, they have only 59 goals against. They are 1 goal behind in the Pembina Valley Hawks in the goals for total, and they got just looking at 5 goals less given up than the Pembina Valley Hawks this season. Obviously a team that has had good goaltending this season. Let's start off with that. The goaltending for this Winnipeg Ice team, how you see it playing a factor in this game. Of course, also with them having a shutout with Laura Melissa last time around against this Hawks team.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. And, just because of that what happened the last meeting, I think I know you didn't ask me which goalie I think will start, but I think they're probably going to give the nod to Laura again, just because, the last time they played the Hawks, they got the 4-0 win, and she got the shutout. And, why not go with the hot hand again? She was able to get the shutout, and that just proves how good of a goaltender she is. Just looking at her stats, she has a .929 save percentage, which is pretty impressive in this league, and her goals against average is .202, which is also a very good, we don't talk about goals as against average as being one of the most reliable stats, but right here it seems to be pretty reliable because it's a pretty good number there. And I think, this Ice team is going to be relying on their goaltenders lots to bail them out. Because of that last shutout they had, I think, the Hawks better be coming out flying because whichever goaltender they start is going to be definitely zoned into the game.
Yeah, and I'm taking a look at the goalie stats on the MFHL's website right now. The Winnipeg Ice actually have the 3rd most saves in the league collectively with 671. Of course, they outshot Pembina Valley last time around. What do you think is going to be the key for them defensively in this game to limiting Pembina Valley to less shots than Winnipeg is going to have, hoping to have more for?
Yeah, I think one of the main things is take advantage of some of the Hawks' weaknesses. And I think one of their weaknesses, I already stated when we were talking about the Hawks, is, when they're breaking out, they often try to find that stretch pass, and it hasn't worked out very well for them. And I think if the Ice clog up, go into the game and try to clog up the neutral zone and try to make it as hard as possible for the Hawks to move pucks when breaking out, I think they got a good chance to hop up on the lead early. And like I said, the Hawks clog up the neutral zone, the Ice clog up the neutral zone, my bad. I think they got a good chance at really minimalizing the opportunities for the Hawks in this game coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, and speaking of the Winnipeg Ice, on the other side of things, on the other side of the defensive zone, on the offensive side of the things for them, 69 goals for as a team this season, of course, ranking 5th, 1 goal behind Pembina Valley in terms of tying them in that stat this season. But looking at the Winnipeg Ice this year, they've relied heavily on one player in particular, and that is Maya Eamon. Of course, Ava Bergman has had a very solid season too in terms of her putting up over 20 points with 23 points in 25 regular season games played. But Maya Eamon, 37 points in 25 games played, definitely a player that, Winnipeg is going to be relying on in this game once again, like they have been all season, to generate offensive chances.
Yeah, like you said it. I'm just myself just sitting here looking at this team, when I was gathering this stuff this morning, I was looking forward to watching this team play for the first time because of a player like Maya Eamon, who's done all the things she's done so far this season, and like you said, Ava Bergman too, being one of those better players on the team. I'm just very excited to check out this team, and it should be interesting to see the Hawks try to really, I'd expect the Hawks try to match up and put the defensive line of Quinn McLaren against Maya Eamon, because Maya Eamon's an excellent hockey player who's been turning some heads this season, to say the least. So I think, the main goal for the Hawks is going to be trying to shut her down. But yeah, this is an offense which can really make you pay if you make mistakes, and that's why I think the Hawks got to match up well against this team.
Yeah, and Maya at this point in the season is 1 point back from tying Nora Collins for the lead in points in the league this season. And yeah, Maya Eamon coming into the season, I'd say, Seth, already one of the top players in the league, and she is definitely living up to that this season so far. And it's going to be interesting to see if she ends up grabbing the lead for points in the league after the season concludes in the regular season. But talking about the rest of this offense, what you expect out of them besides a player like Maya Eamon and Ava Bergman?
Yeah, I just looking at it here, like from these base statistics here, I really like how well balanced it is. It seems like a very well balanced group that they can roll all their lines evenly. Like obviously, Maya Eamon probably sees a lot of ice time and the majority of the ice time in the game as far as forwards go. But this is a team where if Maya Eamon isn't putting up points, you can rely on some of the other forwards to put up points as well. This is a very deep forward core that the coach probably loves to coach, because all of them can put up offense, and all of them can also work well in the defensive zone too. So I think it's a very deep team, and I think no matter which line's out there, it's going to be tough for the Hawks to really defend.
Yeah, and going into special teams now, obviously we haven't seen the special teams from the Winnipeg Ice this year, so I won't ask you about that particularly, but I'll ask you about this number right here. Only 142 penalty minutes for them in total this year, and that ranks least penalty minutes taken in the league this season, Seth. Looking back at the game that they had this last time out in Pembina Valley and the Winnipeg Ice, looking at the stats there, Winnipeg only taking 4 penalty minutes, so 2 penalty minutes in that game. How huge is that going to be this time around for them to, limit their penalties again like they have been consistently this season, and not giving this Pembina Valley Hawks team much opportunity on the power play?
Yeah, I think it's going to be massive. We talked about it earlier. The Hawks have been taking quite a bit of penalties in their games. So, if the Ice can stay out of the box and Hawks are going to take some penalties, that's a lot of time where the Ice are going to stay on the power play, and that's going to be a lot of opportunity where they're going to be able to be in the offensive zone, move that puck around, and get some opportunities on the power play. So, yeah, obviously, if you are the most disciplined team in the league, I think you're doing something right, and I think this Ice team can really take advantage of that in this game on Saturday.
Yeah, and that could just go to credit to Coach Eugene Kaminsky, how he coaches this team and gets it in their mind for them to be prepared. Of course, he is one of the best coaches in this league, so I'm excited to see his strategy, his game plan out there on full display this Saturday, finally, after all the teams we've covered, the Pembina Valley has played. But talking about the keys to the game for the Winnipeg Ice in this game, looking to create even more separation between them and the Hawks, looking to beat them for their second time this season.
Yeah, I think the number one thing is just to keep forget about what happened last Sunday. That's the main thing. And then number two, make sure your power play is at full strength, because we as we mentioned before, the PV Hawks taking a lot of penalties lately. So I think if that's the case in this game, make sure your power play is up to par, and make sure you get as many chances as you can. And I think number three is test the goalies early. This is a team, in the past few games where they've played the Hawks, they've been able to outshoot them, and that's been a big reason to their success. So I think hopping on whichever goaltender's in net, Trians or Kaylee Franz, just test them early and get some shots early. And I think those are the three keys of the game for the Ice.
Well, the Winnipeg Ice and the Pembina Valley Hawks both traveling to Carman, Manitoba to play this game at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. Of course, ASTV Productions will be on location for that game. Me and Seth will be on the call, so going to be excited for that one, Seth. An unfamiliar territory for ourselves. Well, for yourself, going to a place that you played at quite a bit in your hockey playing time in your lifetime. But it's going to be a lot of fun this Saturday coming up. And, we're not done here on your segment, Seth. Coming up after the break, we are going to be talking about some Saskatchewan female U18 AAA Hockey League action that's happening on Sunday between the Swift Current Wildcats and Weyburn Goldwings. Seth will have the inside scoop on both those teams coming up after this commercial break on Seth's Inside Scoop with Seth Rach here on Coffee with Graeme. Welcome back to Seth's Inside Scoop here on Coffee with Graeme. Seth started off by giving the inside scoop on the Saturday game coming up in Carman, Manitoba between the Pembina Valley Hawks and Winnipeg Ice. Of course, puck drop in that game going down at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday on ASTV Productions. And then this game we're talking about now, Seth, that we are going to be talking about, is happening on Sunday on the network here on ASTV between the Swift Current Wildcats and Weyburn Goldwings. It's the third meeting of the season between these two teams. Swift Current coming in as the third place team in the league in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League with a 12-7-3-0 record, and Weyburn coming in as the last place team with a 1-18-1-1 record. Let's start off with Swift. They haven't played since Saturday of January 15th, so a 2-week layoff for them coming into this game, or 2-weekend layoff. And Swift 2-0 in the head-to-head matchup against the Goldwings this season. Those two games coming right before the Christmas break, where Swift won 5-0 and 6-0. What you expect from Swift in this game? First off, with them not playing in quite some time coming into this game against a team they are hoping to beat in the Weyburn Goldwings.
Yeah, I'm expecting them. They're not not gonna be up to full speed. Obviously, they've had a little bit of a break here. They haven't played a full game in 2 weeks, like you said. So, you can expect them to be a little bit slow out of the gate. But I think, as the game progresses, they're going to get more, they're going to find their legs, and they're going to get faster and faster as the game goes on. So I think, I think this team is going to, obviously in the past, it's been a little bit of a mismatch between these two teams, but I think, just expect the Swift to, come out fast, but, realize or find their legs as the game goes on.
Yeah, for sure. And Swift, a team that's really deep up front. Of course, they have 68 goals for in the league this season, only 43 goals against. They've shut out this Weyburn Goldwings team twice and outshooting them both convincingly in these two games, 45-23 in the 5-0 game. And in the second game, they played Weyburn in that same weekend. Back in December, they outshot them 30-17. The game plan, in your opinion, from Swift Current in terms of them looking to get as many shots on net as they did the last two times out against this Weyburn team?
Yeah, I think they need to, I think it's going to be a similar sort of game plan to their last games against this team. And I think, it's going to be come out hard again. I think it's going to be a all systems go kind of mentality for this Swift team. Last time it was last two games they played against this team, it was sort of the same case, but you can probably, I don't want to say things too early because you never know, but, you can expect at least a mismatch. And as far as the shots go too, we know that Swift will probably be leading in the shot category by the end of the game. I don't want to say anything too early, but judging on what happened the last few matchups, you can kind of sort of, piece it together really. And I think, yeah, it's going to be an all systems go sort of mentality come this game up against on this weekend.
And obviously limiting this Weyburn team to under 25 shots in both of those games they played. The strategy for Swift worked last time in that facet of the game, limiting them to the shots that they did. But what do you think that same game plan is going to be in this game for Swift Current to be able to do that once again?
Yeah, I think that it's just a matter of them using their speed to really force the play and not really give the Gold Wings any room to move. Yeah, that's what happened the last few games. It was just sort of speed the whole game, really aggressive game for Swift Current, and I think I think it will play out like that again. Just them using their speed, getting the pucks first, really forcing the play and making the Gold Wings players make decisions that they don't normally want to make. But that's how I think the Swift Current's going to approach this. Just all systems go. They're going to go in and they're going to use their speed and they're going to really not give any daylight to this Weyburn team.
Moving over to the special teams now. Swift went 2 for 11 collectively in those two games on the power play against Weyburn back in December. And they also killed off all 11 power plays that the Weyburn Gold Wings had. Talking and what they wanted in that first game with getting any power play goals. But in that second game, they capitalized twice on that power play. Obviously, the power play has been pretty solid for Swift this season. How you expect this power play to look in this game this time around, coming up on Sunday against the Weyburn Gold Wings?
Yeah, I'm expecting. I'd expect much the same of what we've seen all years so far from Swift. Obviously, I think I think this category is they play together. I think the main thing for Swift is to really stay out of the box this game. Like you said, they had taken a lot of penalties that last game they did play against Weyburn. So, the main thing is, you're only going to get more power play opportunities if you stay out of the box yourself. So I think the main thing is, keep the discipline to, keep a disciplined game and then work from there. Once you get your power plays, do what you've been doing all season, move the puck around well, get those shots on net, try to, just find those open players and get as many opportunities as you can and really stay out of the box to begin with in the first place.
And just to clarify about the 11 power plays that Swift killed off in those two games, collectively, they took 3 penalties in that first game, killed off 3 of those off, of course. But talking about the discipline wasn't the greatest from Swift in that second game, as they took 8 penalties and of course killing all of those off. But looking at this, obviously speaking about the discipline, needs to be more discipline in this game for Swift. But when they have been on the penalty kill against this Weyburn team, they've had a lot of success, of course, killing off 11 of the total power plays that Weyburn ended up having against them. What we should be expecting from this Swift Current penalty kill when they are down a girl or two against Weyburn coming up on Sunday?
Yeah, this Swift team, I mentioned it before already, they got a lot of speed. And I think, the last few games, I thought the speed really, I thought the speed really helped them on their PK. And they went flawless on it for 11 of those penalties in those games. They killed them all off. And I think the speed was the main thing. They just, even when they were on the penalty kill, they just kept it up. They were, as soon as they got the puck, they'd throw it down and then they'd really force when the Weyburn would try to come back and regroup. The Swift Current wasn't giving them any daylight and would just keep on the pressure. And I think that's the main thing with their PK is to really apply that pressure. Obviously you don't want to be too aggressive on a penalty kill, but for them, the aggressiveness has worked. And I think they should, since it worked in the last few games, I think they should use that in this game when they do get on the penalty kill, if they get on the penalty kill.
Both Carly Leonard and Aurora Van Warmer played in those games last time around. Of course, both of them getting shutouts. These goaltenders have been solid for Swift this season. Of course, Carly leading the league in wins at this point in the season in the entire Saskatchewan female U18 AAA hockey league. But talking about it, no matter which goaltender faces off against Weyburn, on Sunday, you got to think that Swift will be confident in whichever goalie they put out.
Yeah, just looking at their numbers here, and a 920 or 938 save percentage for Carly, and then 926 for Aurora Van Warmer. And obviously, if your goaltenders can put up those stats, that's only going to help you in your efforts on the season. So yeah, this team has a lot of confidence in their goaltending, and I don't really, whichever one's in net, I think they got equal confidence in both. So yeah, they got nothing to worry about with their goaltenders. They always seem to be, they got a level head on them, and they always seem to be in the game at all times. So yeah, excellent goaltending for this squad, and whichever one of them's in net, I think they're going to be well off. Depending, it doesn't matter who's in net. I think they're going to be well off either way.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk about the keys to the game now, Seth, for the Swift Current Wildcats in this game. Obviously, coming in against a weak opponent in the Weyburn Gold Wings based off of the record. But Weyburn, they are coming off of a win, an OT win against the Prince Albert Northern Bears. So they'll be coming in hungry in this game, trying to beat Swift for the first time this season. But for Swift, after having such a long layoff from their game that's happening on Sunday against Weyburn to the game that they have last played, taking all into consideration what we've talked about, what the keys to the game, in your opinion, will be for the Swift Current Wildcats?
Yeah, obviously this team has found a lot of success, and this is a Gold Wings team that is a little bit of a weaker squad, so it is going to be a tough game for them. But as for the Swift here, I think the main keys are keep a level head in the game. Don't take anything for granted and stay disciplined.
Yeah, and moving into Weyburn now, Seth, talking about them, they are 1-18, 1-1 on the season, last place in the league by quite a bit, only 19 goals for on the season, which isn't even a goal per game for them, and 104 goals against. But like I mentioned, the last game that they played, they won it against the Prince Albert Northern Bears, 4-3 in OT. They got outshot in that game 56-40. They were 0-4 on the power play, and Prince Albert was 1-3 on the power play in that game. Lexi Pierce got the win in net, making 53 saves in that game for Weyburn. But Weyburn, something that they haven't done in a while, winning a game must mean they have a lot of confidence heading into this one, Seth, against a team that they're trying to beat for the first time this season in Swift Current.
Oh yeah, getting their first win on the year was so big for them, and to do it in overtime too, where next goal wins, and it's battle. It's all about battle, and I just can remember looking back at being in overtime games myself, just the amount of pressure, and if your team scores, how happy it is, and it's always fun scoring an overtime goal, but when you're a team and you finally get your first win, and it's an overtime game, it's a big confidence boost. And I think for this team, it's going to be, they're going to come into this game and they're going to be, they got nothing to lose. They got that. That's the kind of mentality I think they think they're good. I think they're going to play with this game.
And obviously, the big part of their success is going to come from their goaltending. Just looking at the last time they played, they got outshot in both games quite a bit against the Swift Current Wildcats. But goaltending in this game, no matter who starts, Lexi Pierce or Haley Sibbald, both goaltenders going to need to be, on top notch at the top of their game come this Sunday against Swift.
Yeah, if they want to succeed in any facet in this game, goaltending is going to be the number one thing. Fortunately for this team, I'd say these two goaltenders have done their fair share a lot so far this season. Both goaltenders making a lot of saves. They have faced a lot of shots this year. Almost every game, they're getting outshot, and these goaltenders are staying in it. They're keeping their teams in it. Yeah, the scores are probably not where the goaltenders. They're probably letting in more goals than they'd like, but they should keep solace in the fact that they've made so many saves already on this year, and they've been such a big part to their team so far this year. And I think their team can rally behind that, and I think they're going to need to if they're going to want to find success in this game against the Swift Current team.
Yeah, and taking a look at Weyburn's win, talking about their offense, like the offense, it's obviously struggled this season. Like only 19 goals for, in 21 games played. Definitely not the greatest stat for them. But talking about, the ways they were able to get offense in that game against the Prince Albert Northern Bears, it was a whole team effort in terms of scoring by committee. Do you expect for that to be a big part of their success offensively if they are able to, generate their chances, is getting that scoring by committee factor into the game?
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing for that game. I think that's the only way they do find success in this game. It's got to be a whole team effort. Obviously, though, you look at the amount of their point leaders here, and it is pretty. It's been pretty tough for them to generate offense this year. And like I said, that getting that overtime win last weekend is so big for them. And like you said, it was a team effort that game. If they're going to win this game, yeah, I 100% agree with you. It needs to be a full team effort if they want to have a chance to really push Swift Current to their limit.
Yeah, and obviously, this team didn't get that many shots in the last two matchups that they had against Swift Current. Although they had 23 shots in that game against Swift in that 5-0 loss that they had. Swift had 45, and then of course Weyburn under 20 shots in that second game, getting outshot 30-17 in that game. But this team was able to generate 40 shots against the Prince Albert Northern Bears. In your opinion, Seth, what's going to be the key for them to hit around a number, maybe not quite 40, but over 20 shots and maybe even 30 shots in this game against Swift?
Yeah, I think it's all about coming out hard early. Getting a few shots in early. Obviously, as the game goes on, I think it's been the number one struggle for them. They've had okay starts in the past, but I think once the game wears on, they start to slow down, and other teams with all that speed, they just keep going. And I think, yeah, the number one thing is just I think for them to get more shots this game is to get some shots early on in the game, establish some early pressure, and then work from there.
Talking about the limiting teams and shots, obviously they got the win last week out, last time out, but they gave up 56 shots against. Of course, Alexi Pierce was phenomenal in that game, making 53 saves. But this time around, getting outshot like they did against Swift the last times around, what do you think is going to be the key for this Weyburn team to, their game plan to try to limit Swift to, a lower amount of shots this time?
Yeah, I think it's just playing a good, reliable defensive game. Obviously, it's gonna be tough because we know Swift's gonna, be flying in, and they're gonna be getting their fair share of opportunities. But I think just playing a nice structured game and making sure your awareness is at its fullest or is at its best, because as the game goes on, they're going to get tired, but it's all about making the smart plays and making the right decisions. And if they can make the right decisions throughout the majority of the game, I think they're going to have an easier time at limiting the shots from the Swift Current team.
Last time out against Swift Current, they, in terms of the power play that they faced, Swift, of course, in the first game, Weyburn was able to kill off all of the power plays that Swift Current had against them, of course, giving up 2 goals in the second game, that 6-0 game. But this time around, what do you think is going to be the key for Weyburn on the penalty kill going up against a Swift Current team who we know has a solid power play in this league?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Swift Current has all the skill in the world on their team, and it's going to be hard for Weyburn to really manage that power play and try to keep them at bay. But, hey, they were able to in the first game they played on the season. And, I think they got to try and play the same way they did in that game when it comes to the PK. As soon as you get that puck, try to get it down the ice, settle it down and, make the right decision. You don't want to be turning the puck over on the power play, especially against lethal power play like the Swift Current Broncos do have. So I think the main thing is just keeping a good, playing reliable on the PK. Don't try to get pucks out as fast as you can, and really just try to keep things to the outside.
And, we all know the story. It's already been mentioned, but 11 power play opportunities for the Weyburn Gold Wings last time around in those 2 games against Swift, and they weren't able to capitalize on any of them, going 0 for 11 on the power play in those 2 games collectively. Obviously, the Swift Current penalty kill is, like you said, this team has a lot of speed, and they can use that to their advantage on that PK. But for Weyburn, what do you think the strategy should be for them on the power play to combat that speed that Swift has?
Yeah, just making smart puck movements. And I also think the fact that Swift Current hasn't played a game in a while could also benefit the Weyburn team on the power play. They might have that. There's a slight chance that they might have a little bit of rust on their game, the Swift Current team. So, yeah, just moving pucks well and doing things the right way. Don't try to overcomplicate things while on the power play. Just keep things simple. Move the puck around nicely and take those shots whenever they're available. Don't pass too much. Try not to pass the puck too much, and try not to shoot the puck too much as well.
Going into the keys to the game now for Weyburn coming up this Sunday against Swift Current, looking to grab a win on them for the first time this season.
I think the number one thing is go at it with a we got nothing to lose sort of mentality. Obviously, they've had a tough time throughout the whole year, but they were finally able to get this first win. So that also plays into the second key. I think don't take anything for granted. Just play as hard as you can the whole game and have fun. That's the main thing. And the third thing is keep your confidence in your team and the goaltender, especially the goaltenders, because we know the goalies are going to be facing a lot of shots come these games in a few days here. So I think as long as you keep that confidence in yourselves and your goaltenders, anything can happen.
Well, coming up this Sunday, Seth, as we've talked about, the Weyburn Gold Wings coming into And that was Seth Rach on this week's edition of Seth's Inside Scoop. Sorry, everybody. It got cut short. For some reason, my browser decided to switch pages from StreamYard to some other page. Sometimes I have this problem on my Mac. But yeah, going to be excited to be in Carmen, Manitoba on Saturday. Me and Seth Rach will be on the call for that game. Seth doing color, me doing play-by-play. And then, of course, the last game of the weekend here on the network, going to the Saskatchewan female U18 AAA Hockey League between the Swift Current Wildcats and Weyburn Gold Wings. Coming up after the commercial break, I'm going to be giving you guys this week's edition of not this week's edition, this edition tonight, Thursday night's edition this week on Coffee with Graeme of League Report, just running you guys through the schedule of all 4 leagues that I'm going to be talking about tonight in the MFHL, the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, the MMJHL, and the Zone 4 High School Hockey League here on Coffee with Graeme. Stick around for more after this commercial break with League Report coming up next. Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme, everybody. Seth Rach recently joining the show on this week's edition of Seth's Inside Scoop, giving you all the inside scoop on the two games coming up this weekend on the network here on ASTV Productions. The Pembina Valley Hawks facing off against the Winnipeg Ice on Saturday afternoon, so in 2 days. And that game going in Carman, Manitoba. And, of course, the Sunday matchup in the Saskatchewan Female AAA Hockey League between the Swift Current Wildcats and Weyburn Gold Wings. So, time for tonight's edition of League Report, everybody. Going to be running you guys through the schedule coming up for the weekend in all four leagues that I do the League Report on. And just to give you guys an update on games that have been played already and a game that is going on right now, starting off with that one, the Winnipeg Arrows in Stonewall tonight taking on the Interlake Lightning. And Interlake on their Twitter, not their Twitter, on their Facebook. If you guys don't know Interlake's Facebook, be sure to check it out. It's Interlake Female U18 AAA. And yeah, the Winnipeg Arrows taking care of business tonight, coming in, and right now that game is still going on, but it is currently 10-3 in the third period for the Winnipeg Arrows. Now, taking a look at the upcoming games that are happening in the MFHL this weekend coming up. Not many are coming up this weekend, but it's not as busy as a weekend as we've seen in prior weekends in the MFHL so far in this 2021-2022 season. But on Saturday, of course, the Winnipeg Ice taking on the Pembina Valley Hawks at 3:30 p.m. in Carman, and then at 7:30 p.m. also on Saturday, in the nighttime, it's going to be the Central Plains Capitals going into Stonewall to take on the Interlake Lightning at 7:30 p.m. at VMSC Stonewall. And then moving into the Sunday matchup, the one and only Sunday matchup that is happening in the MFHL, the Interlake Lightning travel to Portage la Prairie to play against the Central Plains Capitals at 3 p.m. At the BDO Center for the Community. And also the MFHL always releases their player of the week for both the player and also goalie of the week as well. Congratulations for the Week 15 winners for these awards, and Nora Collins winning her second Player of the Week award in a row. She was also named the Week 14 Player of the Week in the MFHL. And also congratulations to Goalie of the Week in Annika Morose for the Central Plains Capitals. Congrats, ladies. Stick taps to you guys for winning Player of the Week in the MFHL for Week 15. And then, yeah, moving into the other leagues now. Talking about the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, and there's already been a game played. It happened yesterday, and it was the Notre Dame Hounds winning 5-2 on the road against the Regina Rebels. For the Regina Rebels, that was their second loss in a row, as they are on a 2-game losing streak, something that they aren't too familiar with this year. As we take a look at the standings as well, the Regina Rebels have now lost 3 games on the season after before these 2 games that they lost in a row, being 15-1-1-2 on the season. The Notre Dame Hounds closing that gap just a bit with that win on the Regina Rebels, now at 14 wins, 1 loss, 1 overtime win, and 1 overtime loss on the season. They're 4 points back of the Regina Rebels with 4 games in hand on them, with only 17 games played compared to Regina's 21 games played. But taking a look at the rest of the schedule in the Saskatchewan Female AAA Hockey League, what's to come this weekend coming up. 5 games will be played. No games will be played tomorrow, but starting on Saturday at 1:30 p.m., all games being played in the afternoon. No nighttime games in the Saskatchewan League this weekend. But at 1:30 p.m., the Regina Rebels travel to the Art Hauser Center to take on the Prince Albert Northern Bears at 1:30 p.m. And then at 2:45 p.m. on Saturday, the Saskatoon Stars traveling to Crescent Point Place to take on the Weyburn Gold Wings. And then looking at Sunday's action It's going to be a triple header that day. All these games happening at 1:30. Of course, the Weyburn Goldwings taking on the Swift Current Wildcats at Fairview Arena. Of course, that action can be caught on ASTV Productions. Puck drop going at 1:30 p.m. Pretty sure there might be a bit of pregame show as well for that game, so stay tuned for that on Sunday when we start our broadcast. And speaking of the two other games, the Regina Rebels also taking on the Prince Albert Northern Bears for the second time in their 2-game weekend series at Art Hauser Center. And then the last game of the weekend in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, the Saskatoon Stars battling it out at Duncan McNeil Arena against the Notre Dame Hounds. Taking a look at the MMJHL now. Now, there is a game being played tonight. Of course, the St. Vital Jr Victorias, as has been a tradition this year, they are playing their home games on Thursday nights. That's been consistent throughout the season. The Fort Garry Twins are playing against them tonight, and the Fort Garry Twins are up 2-1 after the first 2 periods. So yeah, I'm not sure what's happening in the third period right now. It hasn't shown final score or anything, but currently right now, the Fort Garry Twins up 2-1 at the St. Vital Centennial Arena. Over the St. Vital Jr Victorias. Now, coming up in this league on Friday night, we're going to see the St. James Jr Canucks going to Iroquois Arena to play against the Charleswood Hawks. And I do want to clarify something. Back a while ago, I think last week, I said that the St. James Jr Canucks, the loss that they had, ended their 24-game win streak. I got that wrong. It ended their 24-game streak without their streak of 24 games in a row ended without losing a regulation game. So yeah, I got that wrong. My apologies about that, but they were on a 14-game win streak before that loss they suffered to the Transcon Railer Express, but they're looking to get back in the win column after most recently losing to the Raiders Junior Hockey Club coming up tomorrow night against the Charleswood Hawks at Iroquois Arena. That game, the puck is going to be dropped at 7:30 p.m. and then taking a look at the other 7:30 game that's happening tomorrow night, the Raiders Junior Hockey Club looking to continue their 4-game winning streak, trying to extend it to 5 as they travel to the Stonewall Veterans Memorial Arena to take on the Stonewall Jets at 7:30. And then the St. Boniface Riels in the third out of the 4 games that are going to be played tomorrow night are going to be going to Ed Golden Arena at East End to play the Transcona Railer Express. Puck drop at 8 for that game. And then the River East Royal Knights will be going to the Morris Multiplex to take on the Pembina Valley Twisters. The River East Royal Knights on a 1-game win streak right now, and the Pembina Valley Hawks are on a 3-game win streak, as both of these teams will continue to look to stay in the win column in that game tomorrow night. Depending on the winner. And then no games are going to be played on Saturday in the MMJHL, but there are going to be 5 games happening on Sunday, and a lot of action. It's going to be the Pembina Valley Twisters going to the Seven Oaks Sportsplex to take on the Raiders Junior Hockey Club at 2 p.m. The Charleswood Hawks travel to Southdale Arena to take on the St. Boniface Riels. The Stonewall Jets go to the Bell MTS Iceplex to take on the St. James Jr Canucks at 7 p.m. And then the Transcona Railer Express are going to the Century Arena to take on the Fort Garry Twins at 7:30. And then at Terry Sawchuk Arena at 7:30 p.m. as well. On Sunday night, it's going to be the St. Vital Jr Victorias going to Terry Sawchuk Arena to play the River East Royal Knights. And by the way, the Transcona Railer Express in their game tomorrow night against the St. Boniface Riels looking to get back into the win column themselves, as they have lost 3 games in a row, trying to keep pace for that number 1 spot. with the St. James Jr Canucks. So an important weekend for them and the St. Vital Jr Canucks as well as all the other teams that are playing in the MMJHL. But ending off with the last league here that I want to talk about, that is the Zone 4 High School Hockey League. Now, I reported that the game against the W.C. Miller Aces and Morris Mavericks that happened Monday night, going to refresh it for you guys, the refresher memories on it, because I have told you guys about it already. But for those of you that may have missed me talking about it, the W.C. Miller Aces won that game on Monday 10-0 over the Morris Mavericks. There was a game that was played on Wednesday as well. It might have been canceled. I'm not too sure. Maybe the score just hasn't been reported. I found nothing on Zone 4's Twitter, the Zone 4 High School Hockey League's Twitter. But on Wednesday, yesterday, the Morris Mavericks were supposed to be playing against the GVSD hockey team. I guess that game didn't even happen because there's not even a time that's scheduled there. So that game was slated to happen at Morris Arena, but maybe that game was an error on the schedule. I'm not too sure, but there is no score that happened in that game. But talking about, the busy next 2 days in the league, 5 games in 2 days in total out of these teams playing on Friday. So tomorrow night, the Morris Mavericks are going to be playing against the Pembina Tigers at 7 p.m. Morris will be the road team in that game. I think it's the Trey Hearn Arena where they'll be playing at. The Carmen Cougars will be on the road to play the GVSD hockey team at 7:30 p.m. at Icon in Winkler, I guess at the Icon Arena in Winkler. And then the PCI Trojans will be playing against the Mountain Mustangs at the Notre Dame Arena at 7:30 p.m. Talking about Saturday's action, the Morris Mavericks at 5:30 p.m. will be playing against the defending champion Mountain Mustangs at the Mountain Mustangs home arena, Notre Dame. And then at 7 p.m. on Saturday, the W.C. Miller Aces will be playing against the Carmen Cougars at the Carmen Arena. And then Sunday, there is only going to be one game played in the league. It's going to be the Pembina Tigers in an afternoon matchup, an afternoon clash against the Morris Mavericks, playing them at 2:30 p.m. in Morris's home arena. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this edition of League Report, everybody. A lot of exciting action set to happen across these 4 leagues that I reported on tonight, coming up this weekend. So if you're in the area, you want to catch either some junior hockey, some female hockey, whether you're in Manitoba or Saskatchewan, or if you're in Manitoba as well, want to catch some high school hockey, well, those are some games you guys can check out. And yeah, going to be back doing another edition of League Report like this for next Thursday's episode. On Tuesday's edition of Coffee with Graeme, the next edition of the show that will be airing next week on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Central Time. Not 10 p.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Central Time, bright and early in the morning. Bright and early for me at least, because, sometimes I do sleep until that 9:30 time, maybe 9 p.m. 9:30 might be cutting it a bit close, so I do want to wake up a bit earlier for that, but yeah, on Tuesday's edition of League Report, I'll be reporting the scores of what happened from this past weekend of games throughout these 4 leagues on League Report, as well as updating you guys on the point leaders, the goal leaders, the assist leaders, and the win leaders throughout all 4 of those leagues. So that's coming up on Tuesday's edition of Coffee with Graeme at 10 a.m. Central Time. You guys can catch that episode on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, on our Facebook at ASTV Productions, or on our website at astvproductions.com. Of course, to check out the guest list for that episode, that will be dropping at the latest just before midnight, all across our social media pages on our Facebook and Twitter, and on our Instagram as well at ASTV Productions, our Twitter being Amateur Sports TV, and our Facebook, of course, being ASTV Productions. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's edition of Coffee with Graeme, everybody. I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth. Special thanks to the 4 people who joined tonight's episode, the 4 guests that I had on tonight's episode, starting off the show talking to leading goal scorer and point leader in the MMJHL in Kurtis Luke, number 29 forward for the St. James Jr Canucks in the MMJHL. And then, of course, special thanks to the 2 female hockey players, the 2 U18 prepped female Buffaloes from Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, in Lily Medicine and Cherish Osborne, for joining the show and talking about the experience they've had in Pilot Mound this season, as well as talking about the stats that they put up and the upcoming games that the team is playing against St. Mary's, both tomorrow at 4 p.m. and on Saturday morning at 10:45 a.m. That team getting back into action, playing their first games since earlier on this year in 2022, as they last played on January 9th. And also, I want to thank my main man, Seth Rach, for coming on and giving us all the inside scoop of the games that are happening on the weekend here on ASTV Productions in the MFHL and the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. Be sure to check out those games both on Saturday, the Pembina Valley Hawks game at 3:30 p.m. on the network from Carmen, Manitoba. Interesting that the game is there. And as well as talking about, but as well as tuning into Sunday's game, Seth giving some good insight on both of those games. But of course, tuning in to Sunday's matchup between the Saskatchewan female U18 AAA Hockey League between the Swift Current Wildcats and the Weyburn Gold Wings. Puck drops in that one at 1:30 p.m., of course, as mentioned. And forgot to tell you guys this, but unfortunately, no edition of the Hawks Report tonight. It's going to be returning next week. I'm not going to tell you guys why it didn't happen, as I feel like I want to do that out of the respect for the players. So just gonna leave it at this, that it was canceled for this week. But don't worry, everyone, it will be returning. The Hawks Report will be returning next week here on the network. So stay tuned for that next Thursday night. But yeah, until next week on Tuesday morning, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday tonight. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday night. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday tomorrow, of course. After work is done tomorrow for you guys. I'm not sure if you work on the weekend or not, but if you're in school as well, that will mark the end of the week. So get ready to, have a wonderful weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe out there as well. Stay warm. Stay safe on the roads as well. All that stuff. Stay safe in general. And until next week on Tuesday morning, everybody, I'll see you then. Graeme Forsyth, host of Coffee with Graeme, giving you the salute now. Peacing out on this Thursday evening. And until Tuesday morning next week, everybody, for an all-new edition of Coffee with Graeme. I'll see you then. Take her easy, everybody. Cheers.